Some things on Matt's mind in particular. So, I mean, like, it
Wow.
probably wasn't a big jump for him because certain things are on his mind, but you never know.
Oh my God, it's been a week, and it's only Tuesday. So,
Only
anyways,
Tuesday.
welcome to Crashing Game Night. My name is Matt Diorio, your host, as always. We're joined by the beanied one who is partially paying attention to what is going on in the city that never sleeps, as his
That was New
Dodgers
York.
are attempting to go for a sweep. Yeah, they're playing in New
They're
York
in New
right now.
York right now?
Right,
Oh.
they're at
Yeah.
Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, they're at Yankee
Um,
Stadium right now.
where Freddie Freeman has
Ooh.
homered for the fourth time in this World Series. Every game, he now goes
Jeez.
back 6 consecutive games that he's played in with a home run. And as our Maitre D Services pointed out, that is the longest active streak in baseball history.
That's
So,
right. Go
Imagine
Dodgers.
the bonus he's going to get for
Gerard
that.
Barrera.
It's going to be
Speaking of
amazing.
bonus.
That's right. I've been watching the highlights, kind of keeping up with the game today. I've been kind of distracted, but welcome, guys. Thank you guys for joining and hanging. Yeah, what's up? What's going on?
And we got the babyface one,
There he
Theo
is.
Walski.
What's up, y'all? My hair's a little
And
untamed
then
Perfect timing.
tonight.
I was
Looking
like
in
thinking
trouble.
about that. I mean, come on. I think this would be the week
Like,
to
I
put
need
the
to put the
on.
beanie on.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Maybe you want the
I mean, we did it for you last week.
Yes,
You
we
know.
did.
Oh, thank you guys. That's
And then we are joined by our Maitre D Services, the man with the couch, the man, the myth, the legend, the Lions man, Jason Valerio.
oh yeah.
How's it going, guys? How's it going? Feeling a little under the weather, but it's okay. It's been hot, cold lately. But still here for you guys.
Ooh, live
Rain or
update.
shine.
It is now 5-3.
He's the USPS
Ooh.
of Crashing Game Night.
Right.
Oh, yeah, there we
Anyways,
go.
so
Top of fifth.
ladies and gentlemen, I will forewarn you if while we're recording, the Dodgers somehow come back on this one,
Oh my god.
Jerry may scream.
Oh my god.
The
Yeah.
little girl.
Do it. Scream.
You know,
Do it.
so-
Do it. No muting. We need to test that
That'd be
compressor to
amazing.
make sure
Kidding-
that like
kidding
you
store.
set your microphone just right.
right.
Guys need to do some testing here.
Yep. So, anyways, how is everybody doing?
I'm just happy to have power. I had a 17-hour power outage on Friday.
What?
Dude.
Yeah, that's the longest we've ever had a power outage.
How the heck were you out of
man.
power for 17 hours?
I don't freaking know.
17?
It started at like 8 in the morning, and then like it came back for like maybe 20 minutes, and then it was gone again. And we were just like, okay, there's no internet, no nothing. Oh, thank God we have data on our phones. It's like, okay, well, let's just go out and do something. And freaking Excel Energy didn't send anybody out to our area until like 5 p.m. and they had to excavate in order to get down into the big ass
What?
wires and everything. And yeah, they at first said starting at like 1 p.m. they weren't expecting restore until 11 p.m. Then 11 p.m. came around, and then they said 1:30. At least they were accurate at that. We got power back at 1:30 in the morning.
Good Lord.
Holy crap.
How's
Wow.
your
It was a lot of fun waking up with all my lights turning on in my room.
Like,
Like, oh, okay.
how's your
Okay.
PS5? Did it scream at you? Did it yell at you that, you shut it down without properly turning it off?
Well, that would involve me having turned it on since it did that.
Oh,
So we'll
shit.
find out
oh my
later tonight.
gosh.
So, anyways,
Very cool.
well, it's good to have Jerry back.
Oh,
Yes.
thank
Attending
you.
to some family business last week.
Yeah.
We missed you,
Oh, thank you.
but family first,
Yeah.
taking care of stuff. So, anyways, so we got a little bit to talk about, and
Mm-hmm.
so I'm gonna preface this, folks, that if you've listened to us long enough, we are predominantly PlayStation and Nintendo, and that we are big PlayStation fans. Exhibit A.
Mhm.
However, this starting segment, I am going to rail on PlayStation.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
So we all know a couple years ago that PlayStation bought Firewalk Studios. Firewalk
Oh,
is
yeah.
the studio that was behind Concord, which it was their first game that they were being given after being acquired by PlayStation. It had a $400 million budget, and we know it kind of basically went bye-bye.
Okay.
Um, I am going to read a press release
I
that
saw this as
was
well.
you can go out to sonyinteractive.com and you can go read the press release. You can go out to see PlayStation on Twitter and whatnot. Yes, Twitter. I'm not going to call it stupid X. Anyways, and you can go see it there. But um they I'll just go ahead and read it and then we can sit there and I will go rail on them. Anyways, and this is an email, an internal email that is from Herman Hulse, CEO, Studio Business Group. So as we all know, he's over First Party Studios. Okay. It says, Dear team, today I want to share some important updates from Sony Interactive Entertainment's Studio Business Group. We consistently evaluate our games portfolio and status of our projects to ensure we are meeting near and long-term business priorities. As part of our ongoing efforts to strengthen SIE's studio business, we have had to make a difficult decision relating to two of our studios, Neo Koi and Firewalk Studios. So, real quick before I read the rest of this, Neon Koi, I didn't even know was a studio within PlayStation Studios. It's the first time I've even hearing about them.
Yeah, I didn't know
And
that
whatnot.
either. I
So,
haven't heard of them.
um,
Cool name.
we'll get there. Dude, they have nothing. Like I went to their Instagram, I went to their Twitter account. There's like one or two posts. That's it. There's like it's devoid of anything. You go to their website, it's devoid of anything that they've worked on or whatever. Um, Anyways, so he goes on to say, expanding beyond PlayStation devices and crafting engaging online experiences alongside our single player games are key focal areas for us as we evolve our revenue streams. We need to be strategic, though, in bringing our games to new platforms and recognize when our games fall short of meeting player expectations. While mobile remains a priority growth area for the studio business, we are in the very early stages of our mobile efforts. To achieve success in this area, we need to concentrate on titles that are in line with PlayStation Studios' pedigree and have the potential to reach more players globally. With this refocused approach, Neon Koi will close, and its mobile action game will not move forward. I want to express my gratitude to everyone at Neon Koi for their hard work and endless passion to innovate. Nobody knows what mobile game they were even working on. So, regarding Firewalk,
Bummer.
as announced in early September, certain aspects of Concord were exceptional, but others did not land with enough players, and as a result, we took the game offline. We have spent considerable time these past few months exploring all our options. After much thought, we have determined the best path forward is to permanently sunset the game and close the studio. I want to thank all of Firewalk for their craftsmanship, creative spirit, and dedication. The PvP first-person shooter genre is a competitive space that's continuously evolving and effortlessly. Unfortunately, we did not hit our targets with this title. We will take the lessons learned from Concord and continue to advance our live service capabilities to deliver future growth in this area. I know none of this is easy news to hear, particularly with colleagues and friends departing SIE. Both decisions were given serious thought, and ultimately, we feel they are the right ones to strengthen the organization. Neon Koi and Firewalk were home to many talented individuals, and we will work to find placement for some of those impacted within our global community of studios where possible. I'm a big believer in the benefits of embracing creative experimentation and developing new IP. However, growing through sustainable financials, especially in a challenged economic environment, is critical. While today is a difficult day, there is much to look forward to in the months ahead for this from the Studio Business Group and our teams. I remain confident that we are building a resilient and capable organization driven by creating unforgettable entertainment experiences for our players. Thank you for your continued support. Real quick before we go on, Firewalk Studios put out their own statement as well regarding this. You can go on to Firewalk Studios Twitter account and see it there. It says Firewalk is signing off one last time. Firewalk is Firewalk began with the idea of bringing the joy of multiplayer to a larger audience. Along the way, we assembled an incredible team who were able to navigate growing a new startup into a team during a global pandemic. Firewalk was founded in 2018 and was very small for its first couple of years, only entering full production in 2022. Now, this is the year before. That's the year before PlayStation actually acquired them in late 23. You want to say build a new customized next generation FPS engine in Unreal 4 and 5, delivering the top tier gameplay feel, beautiful worlds, and a performant 60 frames per second technical experience on a stable and scalable backend on PS5 and PC to hundreds of thousands of players in our beta. Manage an acquisition and integration while readying technical and preliminary tests, and ultimately ship and deliver a great first-person experience to players, even if it landed much more narrowly than hoped against a heavily consolidated market. We took some risks along the way, marrying aspects of card battlers and fighting games with first-person shooters, and although some of these and other aspects of the IP didn't land as we hoped, the idea of putting new things into the world is critical to push the medium forward. The talent at Firewalk and the level of individual craft is truly world-class, and teams within Sony Interactive Entertainment and across the industry will be fortunate to work with them. Please reach out to the recruiting at PlayStation for inquiries, and thank you for all the very many teams, partners, and fans who support us along the way. See you in the Tempest Firewalk Studios. And with that, they signed off.
Damn.
All right, we've talked about this. This is what happens when, one, you think that COVID money is going to be permanent money. We're seeing it across the industry. All these studios are closing. The only company, and I brought this up because Tony Polanco, a buddy of ours who will actually be here for our 300th episode in 2 weeks. Yeah, 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
This is 298 tonight. Can't believe we're already at that. But anyways, he tweeted out about this, and I was like, dude, it's like Nintendo is the only one that is not closing studios and laying people off right now. That is because they decided that, hey, COVID was going to be a temporary bump, and we should not overscale to meet the new demand because they felt it was going to be basically fleeting. And here we are 4 years later, and it's now crushing the industry because they upscaled so much. Secondly is PlayStation. You gave a brand new studio that, yes, had a little bit of Activision and Destiny people involved, $400 million to build a brand new FPS game in a realm that is dominated by Call of Duty
Not
and
just Call
Apex
of Duty,
Legends.
I mean, like
Well, the
Fortnite,
big
yeah.
ones, Call of
Yeah.
Duty, Fortnite, Variant,
well, I'm just looking at the
even
first-person
Counter-Strike
shooters.
still.
Counter-Strike, it's
When
still
you look at
big.
console specifically, right, it is, you could even go as far as Destiny from a first-person shooter multiplayer
Yeah,
type
possibly.
game.
It was a tough genre of game to break into, and
I don't even know if it's based off of genre. So I'm reading this Forbes article on their numbers at launch. So I'll read it verbatim
Is it
really
about
quick.
COD?
Based on numbers. No, on Concord.
Is that
okay.
the
Concord.
Jason Schreier article?
Paul Tassi, senior
Paul Tassi,
contributor
yeah.
on Forbes.
Paul Tassi, for those that don't know that name, he usually does a lot of coverage for Forbes for Destiny.
So I will read off this excerpt just in comparison to launch numbers compared to other, let's say, just shit shows. Okay, so to quote, again, I have never seen this before, not to this extent. The $200 million losing disaster, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, launched with 13,000 concurrent players. 4 at the time, but 20 times more than what we're seeing for Concord here. Plus, it was number one on PlayStation's most played lists for a time. Redfall launched with 6,000 players when it came to Steam. Ubisoft's Skull and Bones concurrently has more players right now. Last year's disastrous Golem game launched with more players. I cannot come up with anything here that's even remotely close comparison to point. So it's in reality, for within the first 16 hours, they had a maximum peak of 697 concurrent players,
Wow.
with it dropping from that to 180 concurrent players within 6 hours.
Damn.
So
That's gotta hurt.
it's not only did it not break into a PvP,
It just
area,
wasn't successful.
It just
That's
sucks.
it just wasn't successful at all.
Like, for you to just stop playing that quick is pretty unheard of, I think.
Yeah. Damn.
That's insane. I've never heard of that before.
I didn't know.
Dude,
I didn't know it was that low in numbers. Yeah.
I mean, it lost it lost to Suicide Squad, which was a $200 million loser. Matt just mentioned that this was a $400 million loser. Like, Jesus,
Damn.
this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
That's crazy. That's crazy.
now, granted, okay, so let's look at this for a couple of things, right? Is I feel bad for anybody that's losing their job right now, because although here in the States they say, oh yeah, the job market's great right now, it's because nobody's fucking getting jobs right now. Like, everybody's applying, it's taking forever to get jobs. So I feel for them. Secondly, PlayStation, looking at you. This is exactly what you should have expected to happen when you put Jim Ryan in charge over Sean Layden. That was that power battle. Sean wanted to stick to what made PlayStation great and invest in the single player experiences that have consistently made PlayStation, as Jason and Jerry always put it, the non-FPS console.
Yeah,
Just
pretty
call
much.
it that, right? Speaking of which, Jason, I used that line this weekend. The other day I was in a GameStop and a guy was asking about Xbox versus PlayStation. And I was like, do you play first person shooters? And he's like, no. I go, PlayStation.
Yep.
Yes. That's how
There's
easy
only two
it
questions
was
you
in the
gotta ask
store.
anybody. Two
It
questions.
was so great.
First question: do you play first-person shooters?
No.
Yes or no? Yes.
Okay,
You go
PlayStation.
Xbox.
Yeah,
No,
it's
you
that
go
easy.
PlayStation. But second follow-up question: do you have a family?
Yeah.
And
Right.
that
Yeah.
becomes
Oh,
yes,
switch.
I have a family.
Yeah.
That's
I feel like that should be
Nintendo.
the
No,
first
I don't
question.
have a family.
I think that should be the first question.
Uh,
If you have
Anyways.
a family.
but
mean,
here's the
like,
thing is,
you going into a shop like that? No, like thoughts about
see,
that.
I took us off rails this time. Yes, one in the win column. Anyways, but no, like, so we all knew this, right? When that whole power struggle happened between Jim Ryan and Sean Layden left PlayStation, is Jim Ryan wanted this whole games as a service, online multiplayer games, and all that crap because they were still trying to catch up to Fortnite. Let's be honest, like, it was the Fortnite race, and he was still all the way up into the end, still pushing for this stuff. This game came into existence under his watch. Herman, in his defense, was basically left to pick up the pieces.
Yeah, like I think you know where you're going with this. At least I think I agree, because I feel like the selling point of this game was probably going to be microtransactions, and like this is going to be a rough start, but it's going to be bringing in the money type of deal. Whereas like whoever storyboarded this did not,
it just didn't work.
Players whatsoever. But I, at the same time, a little surprised that 210 people were working on this and didn't like
no one
raise a
said,
hand
like,
or like.
Is this good? Like no one just kind of like,
or if anything, like at the same time, I would almost
right?
applaud them if they were playing it smart. It was like, this is a stepping stone. This ain't gonna do shit, but it's giving me experience for my resume. I'm doing it. Yeah, I would totally do that, because I mean, like we know how it is. Like, internships are worth crap, and I'm going to get paid for something that it fails, but at least it's something that I know I can learn from. So yeah,
but
I mean,
I applaud them for trying something new. At least, like, let's try some new mechanics, whatever.
I'll agree.
Well, yeah. So the battle mechanics and whatnot.
This is supposed to be this was supposed to be, like you said, their new cash cow, but. And the characters were kind of unique and original, but like
Were
you
they? 'Cause
said,
I mean, when I
none-
first saw the trailer for Concord, I thought like it was Star Wars Outlaws at first.
I was just struggling to
I didn't
see
think it
like
was a
what was this about,
like-
okay, what are the
I also
what
didn't
are
think
we
it was a
doing?
first person shooter. I didn't think it
I
was.
also didn't think it was an online only
I thought
game
it was
either.
like Star Wars Outlaws.
Yeah, I
It's-
didn't think it was going to be a first person at first too.
So
But yeah, I don't think he was very fleshed out, or the story wasn't promoted well. There were too many
marketing
questions. I just don't
dropped
think,
the fucking ball.
yeah.
Let's just be honest.
I don't know. We none of us have played it, so maybe marketing did a great job on a shit show. They couldn't make it any better.
Well, I mean, think about it. We just like all three of us just said our impressions were something completely fucking different than the other
True.
person. So
Yeah,
like,
that's why I didn't play
But
it. I
maybe
was
the
like,
game
no, I
was
have
so
no idea what the
confusing.
game
Even
is.
the marketing didn't know what the hell to
Yeah.
say.
and this is where I'm gonna really rag on Sony right now, right? Is that you have this. You also have the fact is that you're only doing remakes and remasters right now. Case in point, as much as I love it coming out on this week with the Horizon Zero Dawn remaster, that's going to make it like Forbidden West at the PS5 level, right?
Yeah.
There's nothing coming out really anymore from PlayStation, at least this year, other than Astrobot, that is not essentially a remake or a remaster. Like, where the fuck are your games? Like, at this point, the only one that's even putting out new games right now is Nintendo. Like, actual new legit games that aren't a remaster or a remake of a remaster of a remaster. Which, by the way, the same guy that was talking to me about the PlayStation stuff, he's got a PS4. He was thinking about upgrading to PS5 or going Series X, right? And he even made the joke about fucking Last of Us. He's like, why do we even need a remake of a remaster of a remaster? Like,
Yeah.
Make it make sense. And that's something, and I got to give kudos to Jason, because Jason's been saying that every time we bring up Last of Us or something like that. He's like, Jason has always said, why the fuck do we need it? Which we don't.
Why?
Yeah.
Unnecessary. Just like how
I'm
I showed
actually
you
gonna
guys
ta-
before. Until Dawn, the Until Dawn remake or remaster or whatever, redo, whatever, remix.
Dude, if
Yeah.
Concord bombed like it
honestly,
did,
like
Until
Until
Dawn's
Dawn,
gonna
I
bomb.
think only sold like barely like 500,000, like 100,000 copies. Like it's so stupid.
I only have it because of PlayStation Plus. But it was free.
Yeah, but
That's
I
the
mean,
only
even
reason why I
still,
have it.
like,
Same.
it's so stupid. Like, what are you guys even trying to do anymore? Like, if I want to play these games, like, they're not that bad on like PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4 still. They really aren't that bad.
No.
I was really
Okay,
surprised
so-
at that.
So I'm gonna take it from a
Actually,
little
that
different
announcement
approach
as well.
from Matt and
Until
Jason,
Dawn, really quick.
No, really quick. please.
4.03 million copies of Until Dawn were sold.
Ew. Yeah, that's not very good.
That was 0.35 million behind Death Stranding. Drive Club sold more than Until Dawn.
How's the Quarry? Out of curiosity, since you bring it up,
Core is good.
I don't know.
Like, I need.
I
to
heard
pick
the
that up
Quarry's
still.
good, but I don't know about
It's
sales
the same.
on it.
It's the same.
I think it's the same studios Until
Yeah, I
Dawn,
think it's
isn't
the
it?
same
Supermassive.
studio. They made a bunch
Yeah.
of them. And
Yeah.
I gotta pick
Anyways.
up all their games.
Okay,
See
so
ya.
I'm going to take it a little bit different direction. So to a certain extent, I don't blame Sony. I'm not necessarily too mad because, in essence, they took a shot at a small studio. They gave a small studio a shot, and they like invested in them. They made an investment, and it failed. Like, investments fail all the freaking time. However, I think that they've lost touch in what makes gaming good, because like, granted, I still haven't played this game or whatever, but I mean, like, if it is that unappealing to people on launch, and to drop off that quickly within playing of launch, like, the story had to have been awful from the get-go, unless their sales pitch was just immaculate and they just didn't deliver. But like, I applaud Sony for taking a chance on these guys, and I feel bad that they failed at it and they're getting dropped. But I mean, like, if you're not going to perform, it's going to happen. So like I do that, but I feel like Sony should be learning from this that like we need to be looking for some better quality of game for our investments rather than just trying to get a money grab.
Agreed. Yeah.
No, I mean, like, bring back what people want rather than, you know what? Let me just. What was a big seller in the last 3 years? Let's see. What was the best seller in the last 3 years? Let's remake that. Why? Unnecessary. Like,
Yeah,
if
but
it's
but the
something
hard
that
thing
was
is
like,
what do people want? I mean, we've had
Well-
so many decades of games. What new thing are you going to do that isn't like 53% taken from other games?
take for example the latest Resident Evil remakes. Those have been popping off. Silent Hill 2 popping off.
But still,
Crazy.
are sequels. They're
But
not
I mean,
originals.
those are remakes. Those are the remasters.
But they're still
whatever.
getting remade.
But
Yeah.
they need it because of like, think of like PlayStation 1 graphics. You know, like Lara Croft, she would have done better if she didn't get rushed on the PlayStation 4.
So are you
but-
now saying this is what people want? Is that they want the
No, I
old
mean,
stuff
like-
remade so that way they can enjoy it?
No, I mean, like, listen to what if Sony wants this like whole remake for 20 years, classic collection, whatever they want to do. Like, have them actually go and see like what was our best sellers of the time back then. PlayStation 1, you know, those old games, because those we want to see like
Yeah. Okay.
bunch of
I see
Final
where you're
Fantasy
going with
7
there. Yeah.
Final Fantasy 7 remake. Godlike reception.
People wanted that.
But
Right.
that was literally 1995 when that came out, almost 30 years ago.
I mean, to that
Okay.
point, right? Legend of Dragoon, they brought out a remaster of the PS1, but people have been wanting a remake of that game.
Yeah. They want to,
Forever.
if they want it
Yeah.
remade,
You're
That's fine,
saying
but
have them
find the
research
ones-
and actually do the
Yeah.
games that have been successful and that people actually have been verbal that they want,
yeah.
instead of
Hell,
going with
even
the
Bloodborne.
kind of cash grab that like the Until Dawn was, because it got kind of a resurgence because
Dude,
of
how
TikTok
many people have
and
been?
and you know social media.
Yeah.
It got a bit more popular because more and more people were getting into it, like
Yeah.
in social
Hell,
media.
Sony.
So it got a huge resurgence, and I honestly think that's why we
Well,
got
Jason
that
just brought up a game
because it
Bloodborne.
wasn't.
People have been crying for that, like
People have been
screaming.
crying for that. What did?
But
what
that's why I
pretty
think
much
it got
won game
that
of the year
much-
last year. What won game of the year? Elden Ring, right?
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
what was the very first one of the first games that brought it up? Bloodborne.
True.
And
Yep.
we have Until Dawn remake. We have Last of Us remake twice, I guess. Maybe
Yeah,
three
twice.
times
Three
if they
times,
want to
three
do it a
times.
third time, you know. But people have been crying for 20 years plus of Bloodborne to be redone, and it still hasn't happened,
yeah.
you know. And
As opposed to getting Until Dawn, where,
it's
like,
on the works, maybe
That
you
was
know, it
just the
doesn't
biggest
fit into our
surprise. Yeah,
catalog. Like, it doesn't fit into our catalog of remakes. You know, it's too old to be remade. And I'm like, no,
no,
Sony just isn't listening to some of the people that are out there. Final
So,
Fantasy
real
14,
quick-
agreed.
and one last point before you
Mm-hmm.
can go on, but Final Fantasy 14 failed at launch. Final Fantasy 14 was terrible. It was literally a carbon copy of Final Fantasy 11. The only difference
I would
is
agree.
that it costs the exact same thing for nothing different. Naoki Yoshi-P, the god himself,
Mhm.
took it, said what is in right now, literally called it a Realm Reborn, a reborn of the game. And now it is the number one because why? Every freaking patch, that they look at, they go to the forums. What do the people like? What do the people not like? How can we make this better?
Mhm.
In the next expansion, we're gonna upgrade your quality of life things. You know,
But you're
things
pitching a
that
game as a
people look
service
forward
now.
to.
You're pitching
You
a
know?
game of a service.
I know, but I mean, like, but that's how
don't
you
get-
do
you
it.
don't
If
get
you
that
wanna go
feedback
that
in
route,
just a
though.
game, straight up game that doesn't
So
evolve over
But
the
if you want to
years.
go that route, which Sony wants to do for some reason, which I don't understand because Xbox has that a little bit.
But you're
Nintendo to
praising a
degree
game
has
as a
it.
service right now. You're praising Final Fantasy 7 or 14, and I praised Destiny 2 for the exact same reason. So why wouldn't they want to go after a game as a service?
No, because
But they're
if they fail at it, if they don't
Yeah.
receive, like, why? If you said, hey, you know what, this is a terrible product, would you want to buy it?
No.
No.
No, exactly. So even if you don't know, hey, this is a product, is it good or bad? I don't know. Are you still gonna put that $70 to it?
No.
so here's
Exactly.
here's
I'm
something
not going
to
to take that gamble.
Yeah. think
you
about.
don't take that gamble. And what
No.
happens?
I mean, we've taken that gamble because we go with our own opinion. We don't wait for reviews.
Well, but
the order
to a
1886.
degree, like to a degree, to Jason's point, I would say because of the promotion of the game, and like we all three said, we didn't know what it was about. So I think that's the other thing. The games that
And-
we all took gambles on, we knew what we were going into because we understood the trailer or
Well,
the gameplay or whatever that it was
I
promoting.
have a slight
wanna bring
argument
this
with
up.
that because it might
Well-
be situational, but like Cult of the Lamb, I had no idea what the hell I was getting into for that. Freaking love that game.
Yeah.
So
Huge
I want to bring up
gamble.
like we've the order 1886, right? We all
Uh-huh.
played this at E3,
True.
right? And it felt really good when we played it. Like, okay, this has got some cool mechanics, cool theme. Nobody knew that game was only going to be less than an 8-hour gameplay, right?
Yeah.
And Sony immediately, essentially after that happened, pretty much jettisoned Ready at Dawn, which is the studio behind The Order. Okay.
Hmm.
Another
The
example of
Order-
them not listening.
And people want a sequel to The Order.
Oh yeah.
Because I still
Us being
thoroughly
one of
enjoy
them.
it. I still go back
Yeah.
and play
That
it,
was
right?
a great idea. I would like
The
even
Order-
even if it wasn't related to the order, but just those mechanics, that kind of storyline, go for
The
it. I
Order
want it.
sold about 2 million copies. Okay.
Really? That's it?
Concord?
Until
No.
done, sold more?
Yeah. Concord only sold about 25,000 copies.
Not surprising.
Yeah.
That's where your loss of $400 million came from. So I tried to look that up really quick. So
To add to
Um,
that, just to add to the detriment of Concord's, including in that Forbes article I was talking about, they talked about how there was a maximum of 23,000 players of the free beta.
Wow.
So they almost had the same amount of free of in sales, but yet even though those players still didn't play it when it went to launch.
Yeah, that's rough.
So yeah. So a PlayStation, you just get back to your fucking roots. Start listening to your actual player base and your fans. Because the games just
Bring
aren't
back the
resonating.
stories.
Like don't
Bring
be
back the
too
stories,
scared
the
about
single
return on
player.
investment
Yeah.
on these. Like yeah, this one Concord didn't work out. Sure, because you weren't listening on certain things. You were seeing the dollar signs on microtransactions probably. I mean, granted, these are assumptions. I still know what the hell this game is, but that is my primary guess. And for Sony to have that reputation, for me to make that assumption, is what is ruining Sony for me right now. Because I should not have that assumption that they're in for a money grab, that they should be in for making the greatest experience for their clientele out there.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the other engine that could. So with Nintendo, with them bringing out new games, right? You had the new Mario Party, you had the new Zelda. They dropped it this week, that Xenoblade Chronicles X, which was a Wii U game. That's now coming to.
I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Xenoblade Chronicles X, which is kind of like an offshoot of the Xenoblade Chronicle games.
Okay.
It was either a Wii or a Wii U title, one of the two.
You're right, Wii U.
Wii U. It's coming to Switch on March 20th, which is something that a lot of Xenoblade fans have been asking for.
Oh wow.
Is give us the damn game on the Switch. So guess what? All the Xenoblade Chronicle games are now on the Switch.
Sweet.
I personally think
Wow.
that makes huge sense, primarily because the Wii U controls sucked.
It wasn't bad for Mass Effect 3 because you
Mm.
could use it to actually position your people on the map and whatnot. It was kind of cool for Arkham as well.
Okay.
But
I do like that mechanic, but I feel like that can be accomplished nowadays. I'm not
Yeah.
really sure about behind, but like with a
Um,
companion app on your phone, you can gonna do those things.
They also did update the N64 17 Plus collection to include Shadow Man and Turok 2. So that now gives you 4 games.
Turok 2.
Turok and Perfect Dark were already on there. My friends and I did multiplayer Turok 2 all the fucking time.
So fun.
It was a mad dash for the Cerebral Bore. That was
so
it.
funny.
Like everybody knew where it was going to be, so we were making mad dashes trying to get to it first. So, and then you look at like, and there's 3 of us that are playing it. Jason, I don't think Jason, you haven't picked up Echoes yet, have you?
Nope.
Nope.
Not yet.
So 3 of us are playing Echoes. We're
Guess
all
when I'm
3
ready to
at.
pick it up. Guess when
We're
I'm ready.
all 3 different places in the game.
The
You know, we
Black of a
haven't really
Friday.
truly discussed the game itself. I want to do some spoiler-free stuff, but
You can spoil
you
it.
know,
It's fine. I'm not going to be playing it that often. It's going to be mostly my wife.
I think it's fantastic. I've been having a discussion on threads with multiple different people about Echoes and Zelda games and stuff like that. Echoes is now my number 5 all-time favorite Zelda game.
Nice. Oh, cool.
It has now jumped in front of Twilight Princess for me.
Okay, I could see that.
So now it goes Link to the Past, Wind Waker, Ocarina, Link Between Worlds, and Echoes.
Oh, so Breath of the Wild did not make your top 5.
Oh no.
Hmm.
It's
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you hate the fact that the weapons break.
weapon breaking is like I hate that mechanic. I hate it.
All right.
And I think for me, more so with Tears, right? And I think this is where like between Tears and Echoes, where I love Echoes more than Tears, right? Is Tears forces you to use a specific mechanic, right? To build stuff, to accomplish side quests and beat dungeons, right?
Sure.
With Echoes, like you're not, yes, you have to, if you want to beat it, you do have to use the Echoes for your stuff, but you can literally solve puzzles by using beds and trampolines. Like just throw those out there. Or you can solve them other ways, like my son who's been playing with Echoes, he's using other things. He gives me so much crap about using beds and trampolines.
They're the most OP items in the entire arsenal.
Yeah.
But
especially beds, because you don't even need potions. You just need the patience to lay in bed for like 5 seconds and you get half your hearts back.
You get Zelda's bed later on, which is basically takes like 5 seconds to regen all your hearts.
There you go.
It's like lay down, you know. But I love the fact that this, and for me, and this is where I talk about my top 5, right? My top 5 includes Link to the Past, Link Between Worlds being a direct sequel of Link to the Past. This game, when you look at the map and everything compared to Link to the Past, this is in that timeline.
Really?
And I will show you.
I thought it was pretty close to Link's Awakening.
No. Well, so Link's Awakening, I don't even know when that even takes place in the timelines, really. I could go look at the book, but
it should be before Link to the Past, because
so here's the side-by-side comparison. So on the left is the map of Link to the Past. On the right is the map for Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah, it's pretty close. You got Gerudo.
So here's the thing is
bottom left and
down in the Gerudo Desert, these 3 for this dungeon right here in the bottom left, you see them in the Gerudo Desert completely destroyed, but they're there, including the main mouth for the entrance to the dungeon. So here, this little L-shaped island right here in the middle, right below Hyrule Castle, look at that. That's where Link's house was. The graveyard is right here. Right above Hyrule Castle.
It's an older map.
It's much later on, like down the timeline.
Yeah.
And the chapel that you come out of in the beginning of Link to the Past, you go into it in an echo.
I forget, but Link to the Past, story-wise, Zelda actually knew who Link was, though, right?
I believe. I thought. Yeah, I believe so.
Echoes still doesn't know who the hell Link is.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, she does.
In Echoes,
Yeah, they
no,
know
she
who Link
doesn't.
is. He's the swordsman.
Yeah.
Link.
Right, but she doesn't know him. She just knows the swordsman. She doesn't know him as Link.
Or are
Well,
you talking about?
I thought throughout, like when you were when you finally get out and you're exploring, and then obviously a few of the like neighborhoods and people you
They
go
know him
to,
as the
like,
hero. Yeah, like he's already saved
yeah.
the
So
land and
I
everything.
thought she
But
learned.
Zelda doesn't know who he is from the
She just
beginning.
learned about the hero and the swordsman.
Yeah,
I gotta look back at that. That you might be right.
like
Oh,
especially in the opening, he sees him face to
sh-
face and
I
doesn't know
thought
who
she
he is.
already she knew who he was,
But that
and
also goes
that's
back to the whole thing about
oh.
that the hero is reincarnated throughout the games.
He is?
Yes,
No,
because
yeah,
you got
he is in
the
Breath.
hero and the princess are reincarnated all the time.
I would like it better if it was different multiverses
Hmm.
instead of
Okay.
reincarnations. But that makes sense.
So here we go. So yes, you are correct, Theo. Link's Awakening is in the
First?
link to the it is in the Link to the Past chronology. So currently
Oh, okay.
I've got the book out for this the Hyrule Historia that
Oh,
is
okay.
out there.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
This
classic,
one?
classic Matt bringing nerd to
Classic.
another level. To another level.
Yes. We all know I'm a Zelda nerd. Anyways, so Skyward Sword is the very first game in the entire timeline. Like
Okay.
it is the
Yeah, because he
starting point.
washes up on the shore of the
So
island.
Skyward Sword is the one where they have the bird. It's up in the clouds.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Link's Awakening was first.
Nope. So Skyward Sword, then Minish Cap, then Four Swords, then Ocarina of Time. After Ocarina of Time is where everything splits. So if the hero is defeated, quote unquote, in Ocarina of Time, that's what starts the decline of Hyrule and the last hero timeline. Which there it starts A Link to the Past, then it's Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, and then Link's Awakening. And then in that timeline after Link's Awakening, Zelda 1 and the original Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 actually take place. So those games actually take place after
Wow.
Link to the Past and Link's Awakening. Then you have the hero is triumphant, and you have the Sacred Realm remains protected, and that's where you have Majora's Mask, Twilight Princess, and Four Swords Adventures. Now, if it's in the adult era and Ganondorf is sealed, that's where you have Wind Waker, Phantom Hourglass, and Spirit Tracks taking place. Now, keep in mind the Historia was written before Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Basically, everybody thinks that those games are just the convergence of the timelines, but Echoes would then fit after Link's Awakening in that perspective. So that would kind of make sense with the reincarnations and everything. So honestly, though, I absolutely love Echoes, and I'm having so much fun with it. And I think what makes the game so good is also it is a gateway game, meaning my kids are playing it, and as I'm talking to them about different things in the game, and especially the latter part where we've already sealed the first set of all the rifts, now we're moving on to the latter half of the game.
Sure.
Oh, cool.
My oldest has asked about playing Link's Awakening, like actually really playing Link's Awakening.
Nice.
He also, because I mentioned some things about Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, he actually wants to experience those games as well. So this is like
nice.
It's an entry level. It's a entry game into the franchise.
I feel
like for a lot of people have never played Zelda.
I feel like if Link's Awakening is available on the Game Boy app on Switch, you should make him play that one instead of the Switch version.
What's wrong with the Switch version versus the DX?
Against the original Game Boy?
Yeah.
Just so he could experience
roots, homie.
the original Game Boy.
Shit, know your roots.
Know your roots, homie.
Dude, if that's the case, I'm
I
gonna go
like
make
that.
him play Zelda 1 on the NES where we had
Yeah,
no
As
fucking
you
map.
should.
Do it.
As
There you go.
Should.
Do it.
He
I
should
like
not go
that.
it alone.
Show him the
But no,
control.
just-
Like show him the controller back. Like,
get
hey,
him
hey,
frustrated at the lost
son,
forest.
this is what we had to. This was our controller.
No,
This was it.
And then he has seen this.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah. See, there you go.
Old school Super Nintendo controller. There you go.
No,
No,
this
but
is
have-
the-
have
this
him
is the one
watch
they
in
brought out for the
Lost
Switch.
Forest,
Yeah.
bro.
But
So-
it's a replica
Yeah.
of the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Correct.
But I will probably bring up something that you and the boys probably didn't do because you played legitimately.
No.
but
I played legitimately because I'm a veteran.
I
Cody
will
Basically,
applaud.
just went through the whole thing. He's like
I will
he-
applaud the coders for this, for allowing you to walk on top of walls and trees, because I just climbed through everything and unlocked the entire map without completing anything. So like if there's this giant wall, I just build a pile of beds and jump on top of the trees and just
that's what I
walk
did.
along. And like, yeah, I applaud them for not bringing in invisible walls and just letting you roam free.
Up until the point where you go explore the mountains up in the northwest or northeast part of the map, there's actually walls up there to where you cannot go. There's ceilings there essentially,
That's fair.
but it's still very explorable.
It's practically the edge of the map at that point.
Yes,
right?
it is.
Okay.
It's not Breath of the Wild where you go see a mountain. It's like if you've got enough stamina potions, you can go freaking climb the whole damn thing and go stand on top of the world, right?
That's right.
But I have to applaud Nintendo for one, giving us a game where we actually get to play as Zelda. Like actually she is the heroine of the game.
Yeah.
You know? And giving us different mechanics and giving us the freedom to solve them whenever. Like I keep getting told, like the kids keep going, no, use Dark Knight for everything. I'm like, no. I'm using fucking Buzz Blob for everything. And that shit's great. You just drop him right on top of the enemy and just sit back and watch him, just fucking electrocuting him. Like it's great. Totally OP. But just the fact is that they built a game in such a way that allows both the fans of the series and really newcomers to this series, right? The kids have seen me play Breath and Tears and stuff like that, but they haven't really sat down themselves and really cracked into a Zelda game. And they've built a game that is very accessible even for the younger audience, that is now making that younger audience go, okay, after this is the next one I want to play. This is the next one I want to play.
Yeah.
Like, and now we get to see some of those games that are now considered retro that are near and dear to our hearts. These kids want to play now. Which,
And they're starting. To add to your point that yeah, those are the people are starting to stream it now too. Not just Echoes, but like you said, Echoes is kind of a gateway to, like, people have been going to the OG on NES and
so
showing
Nintendo,
that off.
I implore you,
don't remake them, please. Don't remake them. Just let us have access.
Give us
No, they're
just
playing
give
the
us
original games, but yeah.
Just give us HD remasters. But here's my thing is,
no, not even remasters. Just continue to have us have access to the apps that ports it, so that way we have the ability to play it. That's it.
Nintendo, I implore you, with all the
Wind Waker.
give me Wind Waker and give me fucking Twilight Princess. That's it.
Still haven't played
That's all we
it.
need.
I need to be able to play it.
Wind Waker,
Nintendo.
Wind Waker's fantastic.
Yeah, Wind Waker, please.
And they need to give us the Wii U version, not the original GameCube, because the Wii U version gave us the one item that makes sailing fucking fantastic and a great quality of life change.
Okay.
So in the original, real quick before we talk about what we've been playing, right, is that in the original game, you had to, if you wanted to change course because the wind was blowing a certain way, you had to sit there and use the Wind Waker. Change the direction of the wind so you could move your boat and go the direction of the wind. Okay. In the Wii U version, they added in an item that once you get the boat, you can go back to the auction house, get this item, and it just allows you just to change directions at will. You don't have to stop and use the Wind Waker to change the direction of the wind and stuff like that, which was super, super tedious in the original game.
Okay.
So that one thing was just needed, right? So I think Nintendo give us Wind Waker
Yes, please.
and whatnot, please. Thank you. And while you're at it, Metroid Prime 2 and 3. So, anyways, Jason, what you been playing? What you been watching?
Not much.
Not even a new Netflix series or Crunchyroll or something.
I tried jumping back on Final Fantasy VII right now to do the platinum run. Took a
Remake or
little break.
rebirth? Remake or rebirth?
Rebirth.
Oh, okay.
Like, took a little break from it. Got work now, so work's been quite chaotic for the holiday season. So
Oof.
you know how
Yeah.
it is. Holiday season now, so it's no time to rest.
No
Yep.
rest for the weary.
Well, I rest and I just go home and I'm like, I don't feel like doing this.
Okay. So, Jerry, did you get any gaming in over the last week with everything you had going on?
I got a little bit. I did a little bit to distract me. I've been continuing with the Penguin series. Very good. Yeah, I think it's really setting up the next Batman and that whole series, the Matt Reeves series, very well. So it's cool. I would definitely recommend that. And yeah, I tried out a new game. I got Astrobot.
Ace.
I have to say, I definitely agree with it being a contender for Game of the Year. If it wins, I will not be surprised. I'm just I just always try and be biased and call it by like what I'm interpreting out there. I just think Wukong's gonna take it. I think it's also you don't think so, Theo?
I don't
Oh, okay.
think I don't think Wukong is deserving of Game of the Year. It's beautiful, but there's still too much wrong with it, in my opinion.
Like what? I'm curious because
I will beat a dead horse by saying like it still needs a parry mechanic. I mean that's a huge thing that they missed on, and also to have to where like timing your dodge. If you're good at timing your dodge, you're a god in the game. Like that's it. It's the primary mechanic that you need to figure out is the dodge. You don't really need to master your other techniques or anything like that. It's after dodge, it's a button smash and you win. And that's how I feel the game is. So I feel like it's only focused on honing one thing, and it's a dodge.
okay. I'm just like I said, I'm going based on what I'm kind of interpreting out there, and like I see everyone's still streaming it, but there are those TikTok accounts that are dedicated to like showing every secret in the game. So I just think I just kind of see it as I think it's the fan favorite. That's what I'm kind of interpreting that it might win.
Here in a couple weeks,
Astrobot, I would say
the
deserves it. It is so awesome.
Here in a couple weeks, we should probably get the vote.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, just wanted to say that, and like yeah, Astrobot's been a lot of fun. I just love, yeah, man. I could talk hours about that game really because I really feel like it could rival Odyssey. I think to a huge degree. It incorporates everything that Sony wants to incorporate
Let's
in the
do
game.
that for next week.
It's
so
let's
cool. Do an Astrobot review next week.
I'm kind of down because like the way every level like got structured and and the themed levels I replayed a couple times. I didn't even care like go back to back going through it because it was just so.
How many times have I played Uncharted?
Yeah, the Uncharted level, dude. The God of War and the Horizon levels, so well done and like so fun and cute to it's like honestly it's like the first time I played Little Big Planet when you're going through like the intro. It gives you that sense of wonder and it's such a fun game. Yeah.
So
it's definitely a recommend.
What have you been playing?
Not too much. I had my aunt visit for a long weekend, so we were doing some activities. I did
Nice.
fit in a little bit of Destiny. Getting ready for Season of the Lost that just started for their Halloween event. Played a little bit of Echoes. I just finished Gerudo.
Nice.
And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like a little bit of Astrobot here and there. I am on the God of War level, right?
Oh, nice.
And that one's a lot of fun.
It's a
really
lot of
like that
fun,
one.
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just freezing everything with the axe, and everything. It's just so much fun.
Yeah,
And
that's the
and
thing.
it's
All,
just
all the
so.
little like things that they incorporated from the games in those little levels. It's just it's just so fun to see.
And I will admit that there's a lot of the character bots that I don't know who they are when I'm collecting them.
We'll
I was
talk about that
surprised
next-
by a lot of those
Let's
games. Like
talk
you
about
said,
that
there were a
next
lot,
week.
dude. Yeah.
We'll talk about that next week. We'll do an Astrobot in review.
Hmm.
Since besides Echoes, I finished my Halloween decorations for my island.
Oh, hey.
Oh, I saw
It
your
is
video.
fully decorated.
I saw your
Nice.
video. It looks
The
good.
the temporary
looking-
decorations are up, and
Christmas is up next.
Christmas is next. Ooh.
So yeah, so you can go over to my TikTok account, but
Yeah,
you can
'cause
also go
Turkey Day
to our
doesn't have
YouTube
much.
page, and I do have the video up showing off the decoration. So
Okay. Cool.
I do want to thank everyone who crashed game night with us tonight and kind of lurked in the background, caught us. I know Gravy Biscuits, you came in right at the very end. Love them.
Gravy
The bottle will be right back
Thank
up right
you.
after
What's
the
up?
after the show. But just with everything going on in the
Your
climate,
name
and,
makes me hungry.
in the world, in the US, especially after some events that happened in the US this weekend, please everybody just be excellent to each other.
That's right, everybody. All you nerds out there, we want to send out that same message. We want to, lend a helping hand, try and help out and try and be a little safer. Let's try to do and be a little better. Let's try to practice a little bit of patience. Try to have an open mind and put ourselves in the other person's shoe if need be, and just try and understand. Just try and be understanding. And overall, let's just be safe out there. We're getting close to that election, so more and more people are getting a little crazy and in for their opinions, but let's just try and be open and listen, and let's just be safe. And J-Rock, J-Bone,
Yep.
the lion.
It's okay, Jerry. You always like to take all the stuff. So
What are you
know,
talking about? I said let's be
talking
safe.
talking about the election.
I just mentioned it. I'm just saying be safe, and then I say it was a setup. I just set you up. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Dang
okay.
No,
Anyways, guys, it's
He's complaining because you're forcing him to do effort when he's not feeling good.
He's
Like,
just complaining. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
complaining.
You can
He
just
just
see
wants to
him
complain.
slump back.
He's
He's
a grumpy lion right
oh,
now.
why do I have to
He's a
work?
grumpy lion,
Why do
so-
I
Oh
have to
my
think
God,
of things?
Jerry,
Let's just let him finish,
why?
and then we can let him get to bed because the lion wants to sleep tonight.
Yeah, you know it.
He needs to go brush his mane.
But yeah, it's it is coming up on election time, so please just go out there. If you haven't already put in your votes, put in your votes. Yeah, that's all I got for this week. I'm just a little
right.
sedated.
Do you need one of us to?
No,
to
no,
send
how
this out,
dare you, sir?
right?
How dare you, sir?
He's
Jerry just takes
conserving
all
his
my stuff,
energy
all the
All right.
voting
just
stuff.
for this.
Oh,
Just for this.
Let's let him have the energy, not
no way, no
Oh,
way.
not
Yeah.
distract.
Yeah,
Silence.
no, like Jesus Christ, guys. Anyway,
over the room.
my man, Theowalski, send us out like you do. See, I will never be too tired for it. My throat, feel it. Okay.
It's like that brush of
Damn.
energy, just that shot of oxygen or something, like adrenaline, just to get you going.
That quick boost.
Going. But thank you all for watching. Thanks for listening. Till next time, TTFN. Ta-ta for now. Night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Say yes.
Son of a bitch. I am going to give you a knife to the back when we play COD tonight. Good night, everybody.
Gotcha. Got him.